another Stretch with Dave. I, of course, am Dave. We're going to be doing something a little different today with our modified PNF stretching. I'll explain what that is when we sort of get more to it. We're going to go into our hip 90-90s first, though. So 90 degrees in the front, 90 degrees off to the side, and then I'm going to slightly lean back. What we're going to do is we're going to swing that leg forward, push the hips forward, and my right knee is down, so my right arm comes up. So now my left leg is swinging back, and I'm just back into this 90-90 position again. We'll continue to move through that. If you just want to hold here and you just want to feel that stretch here, that's fine. If you want to get a little bit more mobility in, right hand pushes into the ground, you sweep that leg back, left leg comes forward, right arm in line with the gear, and then I just reverse the motion, right? Try to scooch back a little bit here so I'm more on camera. We're going to do one more here. And we're just going to switch sides. Now my left leg is in front. Right leg is off to the side. Both bent 90-90. Slightly lean back. And then you're going to push up. Right? Swing the right leg forward. So while we move through that, I'll explain. So PNF stretching stands for proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. Big word for essentially a simple process. We're going to hold a contraction in between our static stretches. And the theory is that will increase the range of motion within the static stretch a little bit. I have these dynamic stretches in first just to get some extra mobility there. So now we're going to go into our figure 4. So I'm going to be lying on my back, crossing my left leg over my right, lying on my back, left hand through the hole, right hand through the outside, head on the ground, pulling the right knee towards the chest. So this stretch I'm feeling in my left leg. When you do a glute bridge, we're going to hold this for 20 seconds. Now go into a glute bridge. You can do a glute bridge, right, like this, and we can hold it. Or if you feel strong enough, just do the left leg. We don't hold this for long, 6 to 10 seconds. Push, push, push as hard as you can. And we're going to cross that left leg over, left hand through the hole again, right hand on the outside, and see if you can get a little deeper within that stretch, or see if that stretch just feels any better. All right, now we'll switch sides. All right, leg is crossed over, right hand through the hole, left hand to the outside, pulling the left leg towards my chest. And this aligns with the American College of Sports Medicine as well. If you're doing these types of stretches, the American College of Sports Medicine says to improve range of motion, we want to stretch an area for a total of 60 seconds over 2 sets. It's actually 40 to 60 seconds over 2 sets. So that's why I go a little on the lower end. Go into that contraction now. So right leg, glute bridge, pushing and holding. Pushing up as high as we can because we want almost the maximal contraction or maximal effort. Not maximal effort, try maximal force through this glute bridge. And then we'll cross over again. And these muscles in the glute bridge in the figure 4 aren't exactly one-to-one either. We're not using exactly the same muscles. All right. So our next is our child's pose to cobra. We're going to have a back extension in there. What that's going to look like on camera here. Go into that child's pose, right? We've done this 100 times. I like to open up my legs for the child's pose, and this really helps doing those figure fours first. Reaching forward, stretching those lats, and then we're going to come forward into that cobra. How we're going to do this one is we're going to do this for the mobility. We're going to hold the child's pose. And then we're going to do our back extension so you can get a little bit more range of motion. My hips are very tight today. So that felt pretty good to do. Still feeling a little tight. That's okay. We just move through where we can, right? Do what we can. So we'll hold our child's pose here. We've done it a few times. We'll go into our back extension. So essentially all I'm doing for this, heels pointed out, hands are on my ears, and I'm just going to lift my chest off the ground just a couple inches. And try to keep those elbows up, really squeeze those elbows and shoulder blades together. Keep the feet on the ground. Just going to hold this, hold this, hold this, hold this, hold this, and then we'll push back into that child's pose. See how it feels? All right, so we have our open books. And this is, so the goal for these next couple are to open up the chest and rotate the T-spine a little bit. We're going to start in our T, cross the left leg over the right, and our left hand can follow and close the book. And now we'll keep our gaze on our left hand as we open that book, feeling the mobility sort of start to loosen up in our chest and our spine as we just move through this, right? 5 per side here, that's number 5 on the left. Switch. Try to keep that head on the ground. That left leg straight. And your gaze on the moving hand. Why do I keep that left leg straight? Is it just keeps my body and spine as full as it can be and not straight. Got one more here. Excellent. So we're going to stand up into the door frame. And I'm going to allow myself, so I'm going to go palm up. I'm going to allow myself to rotate through. Feeling that stretch of my chest. A little bit in the T-spine too, not so much. Like I can allow myself to rotate through, but it's not a huge range of motion for me that I can move through in this position. Now what I'm going to do is this standing iso pec fly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bend my arm at 90 degrees. And I'm going to push my elbow into the wall or the door jamb or whatever you're using, contracting my left chest. I'm sorry, I stretch my left side, so I'm contracting my left chest here. Really trying to squeeze, almost as if I was doing a, that pec deck machine. Squeeze those muscles, feeling that contraction in the chest. then we'll go back into our standing door frame. And you might not feel like you're getting additional range of motion here, and that's okay. When this stretching's done and they test it with the goniometer, it's usually a few degrees, like 1 or 2 degrees. The hamstrings can be quite drastic. But the big thing is it's a little bit of a break in between the sets of stretching. We're going to switch sides. I might become lost in the light here as I go to my right side, palms up, twisting through the top, feeling that stretch. So if you're having some difficulties, because like these two, the contraction and the stretch seem very similar, I'm allowing my body to rotate through this and my arm is just holding on. When I do the standing isolation, I'm trying to bring my arm towards my body rather than turn my body away from my arm. And that's what creates the contraction. We will go into contraction again. I've bent my arm at 90 degrees. It might be easier if I show you from here. Yeah, it's still on camera. So I bent my arm at 90 degrees, and then I'm just trying to bring my elbow towards my other elbow here. And I'm doing my best, but it's a wall, so it's not moving too much here. And the contraction doesn't have to hold on. You don't have to hold it too long, but we do want it to be, a maximal effort almost. And go back to my door frame. I could probably do it from here. You can see a different angle. Go into that door frame. And I really feel it on this one. I feel I get that extra little bit of mobility. It always feels nice. And then we'll go into our hamstrings. Our forward fold combo to get some mobility in the hamstrings. Hold on down. Pull back on the left fingers, arms overhead. Hips to the left, lean to the right. Right, lean to the left. Do that total of 4 times. Pulling back on the right fingers. Thing. For a second I thought my shirt was inside out, and that was going to be a nightmare. Push down on the left fingers. Push down on the right fingers. Alright, so we're going to go into our chair hamstring stretch. You don't need to use a chair, and that's why I said the chair was optional, or no equipment necessary. The toe pointed towards the shin, slightly forward. Again, you can just have your foot on the ground. I'm not going to do any turns today. And we're going to do both hamstring sides before we go into our contractions, just so it's a little bit less up and down. Switch to the right. I want to make sure we're finishing on not too overtime, because we are going overtime here. Better if the chair is fixed. I'll say I'm not a fan of doing this with an office chair, but it's sort of what I have. I guess I could use one of those guys. They're not as stable as they look. If you ever come over to my house. Alright, and then we're going to go into our straight leg glute bridge. So we're not doing these single leg, obviously. They're very difficult. Leg is as straight as you need to be. Just lift the glutes off the ground. Right, it's not looking like I'm doing much here, but my hamstrings are working. Overtime here. All right. Back into that hamstring, see if they feel any better, see if we can get any improved range of motion here. And I definitely feel it on the hamstrings too, right? I always think this one's the easiest to sort of demonstrate PNF stretching too. And we'll switch sides. All right. Hope you enjoyed that. I'm just going to shake it out a little bit. If you did like sort of that, having those contractions in the middle, let me know. If there's anything that just didn't feel right, also let me know. Any questions, comments, or concerns, criticism, I am always open to it, so please send it my way. But until next time, I hope you enjoyed that stretch class, and I will see you in the next video. You have yourself a wonderful day.